Hello and welcome to Taxi Tuesday number 4. What? You're saying it's not Tuesday, it's Friday. Well, I thought I'd give you a 4th of July special. Oh yes, why not? If we're only doing an episode a day, there's really no reason not to do it an extra time, you know? Just to have fun. Oh, man, it feels good to be out here. We have Nitro in the taxis now. We've got Boston on the radio. And we have somebody over here. Well, I guess you just got done having sexy times with one of my buddies. So we're going to bring her to where she needs to go. And I like that we have repaired our taxi, only to immediately screw it all up again, but that's okay. Boston is another one of those bands that I think is...
So is the F word, but I like that too.
Boston is a band that will be immortal, I believe. They were ahead of their time. Like, I had a friend who was surprised that, what's that song? Oh, crap. Yeah, More Than a Feeling came out in the 70s. It's ahead of its time. Oof. Out of my way. And this is, Eddie Money. This is another one I would think, I would categorize this as boomer for boomer kind of stuff, so... Yep, I know I'm recycling my old talking points, but I think it's worthwhile to, you know, just give a running commentary on all this music. Why not? You see the skillful way I dodged those mofos? Very good job on my part, if I may say so myself. Yeah, let's see if we can't get some solid chains going along. I mean, so far we're doing well. Alright. Come get in the car. Oh, man. So yeah, 4th of July. Enjoying our cookouts and stuff, I assume, if you're not American. I guess happy regular Friday. Right? Oh, man. Yes. It almost feels like I should blab about America on the 4th of July, right? Because, I just want to be light and have fun, but, like, you know, I have complicated thoughts, of course, on America, because, like, I don't love everything about this country. I think we do a lot wrong. However, at the same time, I think there's a lot of vitriol towards America online that crosses the line from being, you know, accurate political commentary to just being, like, hateful towards just, like, regular people like you and me. Well, like me and maybe you. You know, people who are just, like, normal Americans just trying to, like, get along in life, and it's like, oh, stupid Americans, you do this, you do that. And it's like, well, I'm just trying to get through life, just like you are. You really can't hold me or any normie out there responsible for the political situation in the country. I mean, all I can do is give my one vote, and oftentimes there's no one worthwhile to vote for anyway. Like, they're usually just a bunch of jackasses. Oh, get in. I'll move as soon as my passenger's in. Get me in. But yeah, we, very complicated, these things we do here. Like, honestly, who the hell cares that you use the imperial system and not the metric system? That's one that, like, I've never understood the vitriol there. Like, sure, maybe the metric system is better. I'm willing to admit that it probably is. But like, I just don't understand how emotional people get over this. Like, they act like the imperial system, you know, shat in their oatmeal or something. I just don't get that level of vitriol for something that, I mean, it's not like we're making anyone else do the imperial system. And speaking of which, didn't that come from England? We didn't make that. I mean, come
I
on.
remember that day like it was yesterday. Jennifer looked so beautiful. I knew I
All right, time for the spray and
She was
the spray
driving
tan.
along a canyon and her brakes went out. I'm moving on now and married someone
Excellent.
half my age. God, I love banging her. I started my life over with Crimson Executive
Oh.
Spouse Indemnity
Yeah, I saw that, Mr. Copper. You're not getting me today.
When your wife would be tragically taken away. Crimson set
Yeah,
me
the
up
first
with
few
a
episodes were
huge
just me
life
getting
insurance
used to
policy on
this
my life.
stuff, and
I can't have her back,
now
but
I'm doing
I
it.
have a second home.
The other thing that I don't really get, new station. But yeah, the other thing I don't really get is who the hell cares that we call it soccer and that we don't really play it as much as all these other countries do. It's like, so what? I mean, if anything, it means that you're getting less competition for your own teams because we're not really putting up much of a thing for soccer. And also, like, everyone has different words for things in different languages. So, that guy's a gun. We gotta get out of here. But yeah, we call it soccer, and we have our own football, our own American football. And people love to hate on, you know, the old hand egg, as they like to call it. Well, for one thing, did you know that all versions of football are called as such because they are played on foot? And that is equally accurate for soccer, for American football, because they are played on foot and not on horseback, or in the water, or anything else like that. And ball, who says a ball has to be spherical, you know? Balls can be different things. So yeah, the rest of the world should back off on the whole football thing. I mean, it is what it is. And also, American football is actually more popular around the world than you might think. I mean, the NFL is doing international games these days. They had a game in Germany. They play a game in the UK every year, and it's very well attended. American football is actually fairly popular in the UK. I'm not going to claim it's like huge or anything, but there's a sizable enough following that whenever, you know, they play in London, they tend to sell out. Yeah, Germany, Italy, all these countries, they have some sort of American football following. Brazil, just last year, my own Philadelphia Eagles became the first ever NFL team to win a football game in Brazil against the Green Bay Packers. I mean, the field itself was kind of crappy, but whatever. We had a game in Brazil. We were actually the first team to win an NFL game in the Southern Hemisphere, so that's pretty cool. And, you know, I'm not much of a college guy myself, but if you're into college football, that's a whole world unto itself. There's a lot going on. A lot to enjoy there. So yeah, I really do like, and you know, I've grown to love American football. And there's also a band called American Football, which I still haven't listened to yet. You know, so maybe that is something I should check out at some point. As we take ourselves a little shortcut here. Oop. Yeah, we are getting quite proficient at this taxi thing. Get in. So those are a few things that people complain about America that I really have no reason. I believe they have no reason to really have those particular concerns. I mean, American foreign policy, sure. American economic policy, yeah. Those things are all worth criticism. But come on, the little things like what we decide to call, soccer, or what or how we decide to play American football. It's like, just, you can leave us alone with those things. It's not a big deal. Like, who cares? Every country has their particularities, and it's cool. Oh, crap. There we go. But yeah, I refuse to hate America, no matter how much wrong goes on or how much bad the federal government might do in the country or abroad. I refuse to hate her. That's just too easy, too cheap. And the real reason why is actually pretty simple. It doesn't really have anything to do with what I was talking about, but to me, America is simply just, people think of America as the sum of what the government does and all that, but to me, America is just, well, it's me, it's my family, it's my friends, it's the people I encounter on a daily basis. It's just people. And, most people are pretty chill, And I can't hate America without hating all those people. And I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to be a misanthrope. So, honestly, I think that anyone who hates America, if they spent time here, they would actually have quite a different view of it when they left. They'd be like, you know what, people there were actually super chill and nice. I mean, the reason why we... Oh, get out of my way. I'm getting a new fare, I think. Alright, we should go to the spray and pray. Alright, we'll go over here. Where... it's one of those... Where the hell is it kind of things. Oh, there it is. Rad. Yes. So, and I feel like that's probably true with other countries too. Like, let's say, I don't know, let's pick a country at random. Kenya. Why not? Kenya. I'm sure, like, people have some notions of what Kenya is like and what the people are like there, But I'm pretty sure if you went to Kenya and just, like, hung out with the other, Kenyans, I guess, you'd probably come away feeling a bit warmer about it, unless you got like mugged or something or whatever. Then you might have bad memories. But I'm pretty sure like your average Kenyans are pretty sweet. Like I have no idea. I've never been to Kenya. Obviously, I've only been overseas once, unless you count Canada as overseas, in which case I've been out of the country 3 times. But only once had I been to another continent. It was to Germany when I was 21. I went for my friend's wedding. And yeah, that remains my only time outside this country. And I didn't really see enough of Germany to have a very detailed impression of it. I mean, I liked what I saw. I was in the city of Hanover. And I have nothing to complain about when it comes to that city. It was a fine place. I like the train station. Oh, gosh, gotta go up there. Yeah, the train station had like a massive mall inside it, and it held like everything that you could want. So, yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, I'd like to go back to Germany sometime, but it's going to be a while since I feel like I have the funds or the time or the inclination to travel outside the country. That's another thing that people complain about with America, is that we don't leave the country. But here's the thing. If you live in America, there's less reason to go to other countries just because of the sheer size and diversity of the country. I mean, all of our states, and even like cities within the different states, are so different from one another. And like, if you want to see different cultures, like let's say you want to see India, you don't have to go to India. Just go to like Edison, New Jersey, or something like that. You want to go to I don't know, Puerto Rico? Just go to literally any mid-sized city in Pennsylvania. You're in Puerto Rico. You know, everyone's here. They all come here. You don't have to go to their country to see them. And if you want to see like any group of people at all, just go to New York City. Like literally everyone is there. And they're probably all in Los Angeles and Chicago and other places too. So yeah, the need to go to these other countries is much less. I mean, there still is a need because, you know, you're not going to get a perfect transplant of those cultures onto America when they're here. I mean, different groups tend to get Americanized the longer they've been here, and even if they haven't been here that long, there's differences that you'll see. And it might be nice to see them in their natural habitat, for lack of a better term. But ultimately, oh shit, they're shooting at me. Alright, let's get out of here. But yeah, ultimately, it's pretty chill. There's no reason. Well, there's less reason than one might think. I mean, I still think everyone should, at some point, travel outside the country if they can, but also, like any other country, unless you live close to the Canadian or Mexican border, you don't live close to another country. I mean, where I live in Pennsylvania, I can probably get to Canada in 5, maybe 6 hours. And the thing is, well, Canada is basically like the mini US. Sorry, Canadians, it's true. We're basically similar. Now, this doesn't mean I think that the US should annex Canada or anything like that. Don't worry, I'm not an advocate for that in any way. But, like, the differences between us... Oh, crap. Oh, yeah, run away from that. The differences between us are very much less so. I think that's why Canadians try their best to emphasize those differences, because they are so much like us, and we are so much bigger and have so much more influence that they have to cling to any kind of difference that they have. And to be honest, like, I get it. I don't have anything against them. Sometimes it gets obnoxious. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I really get annoyed by just like how much Canadians make a big deal of, oh, like, oh, we're not you. It's like, alright, bro, we get it. But I get why they do it, you know. You have to differentiate yourself from your much larger neighbor, you know. So, I get it. And, yeah, I do love Canada. If I had to leave America for any reason, I mean, it should be a pretty simple thing to say, but yeah, Canada would be the choice. Just because the culture shock here to there is very much less than anywhere else in the world. You know, there are places in the U.S. that are more different from where I live than parts of Canada. Like, at one point, I had a close friend from Atlanta, right? And then I had another close friend from, we'll say, the general vicinity of the Niagara Falls area. And the more I talked to that guy, both those guys, I realized we here in Pennsylvania have more in common with the that region of Ontario than we do with Atlanta. So, yeah, the cultural differences don't necessarily, the border isn't necessarily the biggest cultural difference. And also, I have a friend who grew up maybe 50 or 60 miles away from me in a different part of Pennsylvania, but not that different. But he grew up sort of working class. You know, he grew up a lot poorer. Whereas myself and my Canadian friend, we both grew up middle class. And I had more in common with my middle-class Canadian friend, just because of our similar upbringing, than I did with the guy who lived literally one county away in Pennsylvania, just because he grew up working class. So, like, all these factors are actually a bigger difference than national boundaries. Again, this is not me trying to make a case for annexation or anything like that. You know, Canada is its own country, and it should always be. But, you know, we are more similar than we are different. And that's fine. And it's kind of funny, because the internet just loves Canada. The internet can't get enough Canada. They think that Canada can't do any wrong. Whereas, you know, Canada has its problems. It even has some problems that we don't have, or don't have in the same quantity. I don't really feel qualified to talk about those problems, because I don't live in Canada and never have. I've only been there twice, both of those trips lasting only maybe 3 or 4 days, and not really seeing too much of the country, so I can't really talk about those problems. But you know, it is kind of funny how, just like there is this mass idea of like what's good or not. I mean, Canada says soccer. It doesn't say football. But no one seems to care that Canada calls it soccer. They only care that America does. Canada cares even less about soccer than the US does. So, but once again, no one seems to care about that. No one gives them shit. Now, they do play their hockey, of course, and we play our hockey here too, actually. Hockey is never going to be as big in America as it is in Canada, but it's still pretty big in, in the northern cities. Like, the Flyers, well, they'll never be as big as, the Eagles or Phillies in America, or in Philadelphia rather. But the Flyers are still like very sizable in their following. So we do have hockey here too, but of course in Canada it's their main sport, you know. Also, they love baseball and they love their own football, gridiron football. I'm tempted to call it American football, but it's not. It's Canadian football. But honestly, American and Canadian football are almost the same sport. There's only a few different rules here and there. So, like, if you know American football and you go to a Canadian football game, you're going to essentially realize what's going on. You're not going to be lost. I mean, you'll have to get used to like the fact that punters can kick, can get points from the rouge. I'm not exactly sure how the 1 point rouge works, but you know, it's similar. But yeah, no one gives them crap. They have their own quote unquote Super Bowl. It's called the Grey Cup. I've never watched any Canadian football, but hell, I mean, if I ever get the chance, I'd totally watch it. Why not? Sounds like fun.
Jennifer looks so beautiful.
But yeah, and also the other thing that Canada has in common with America is it has really bad urban design, the really car-centric stuff. I mean, that's just as much true in Canada as it is in the U.S., and there's plenty of criticism to have there, but I'm not going to get into my rant on that today, just because, you know, there's only so many rants that we can have today. Alright, where's this guy? Alright, Mr. Cop. As long as you're not aggroed. I'll never get over how aggressively they like to open doors. Alright. So, yeah. It's kind of funny. On this 4th of July episode, I've just talked about how much I love Canada for like half the time. But that's fine, you know. I think that's one of the most American things, too, is just loving Canada. We just... Well, you want to hear the dirty little secret, Canadians? Americans, we kind of see you as the better version of ourselves. Like, the kinder, nicer versions. Now, I want to be clear, Canadian niceness is, to be honest, it's kind of skin deep. Canadians are, they're very passive aggressive in general. They're not, and they're very smug. But yeah, they're not any more nice than we are, to be honest with you. But you know, it's part of their cultural identity that they are, so they at least make the attempt, I think. But yeah, the dirty little secret is we do see Canadians as the better version of ourselves, and we're like low-key jealous of Canada, to be honest. We kind of wish that we didn't. You know, I'm pretty sure your average American, if they're not like really nationalist, oh, this guy's trunks. But yeah, if they're not like ultra nationalist or whatever, they're kind of jealous, I think, of Canada's ability to just sort of, you know, Canada doesn't have to be the world police. They don't have to do any of that stuff. They just sit there and vibe, and like nothing is. No one ever has a problem with them. Like nobody has a problem with Canadians, generally. Interestingly, the only people who ever have problems with Canadians, in my experience, are other Canadians. Like, Canadians are as good as self-loathing as anyone. I mean, try to compare them to the U.S. and they're going to, you know, get really jingoistic on you, but if you just, you know, if there's a bunch of Canadians sitting together talking about Canada, yeah, you're probably going to get a lot of people talking down on Canada. But that's the same as the U.S. and pretty much any country. We all have that British kind of self-deprecating stuff. Alright, I wonder if we can get to 20. Don't stop there. What you doing with my wheels, man? Alright, very good. Oh. But yeah, we are low-key kind of jealous of Canadians. Alright, let's take ourselves a little shortcut. Swag. But you know what? The thing is, like, even if we are jealous of Canadians, if you asked if we could trade places with them, I think most Americans would say no. There is a certain pride in being the big dog, you know, being the world hegemon, and even if you don't approve of what America's doing, there's kind of a... It's kind of a vibe, you know, just being that guy. I mean, what America does has worldwide importance. I mean, China is rising. They are a world power. They are arguably a superpower. But, you know, until there is a major shift, America's still top dog. And will be until something major happens. And I think most Americans are ashamed of how proud they are of that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, somebody has to do it. You know, in this globalized world, there's always going to be an alpha. And, I mean, would the world be better off under Chinese leadership? I mean, that's an open question, I guess, but I don't think so. I think that China has just enough problems on its own that I wouldn't want to see them be the world hegemon. I mean, if somebody has to do it, it might as well be us, right? I certainly wish that certain aspects of it were different. I sure wish that the way we conducted ourselves in many aspects of our foreign policy were different. But, you know, on the whole, when taken as a complete package, you could do a whole lot worse. I think the people who complain about America, they don't fully understand how much worse it could be if some other power had that level of control and influence that America does. And if you're thinking that, well, maybe no one should, then you're just naive, because someone's going to. That's just inevitable. You can't get away from that. And also the fact of having a global hegemon is actually very stabilizing. Because if you have more than one person vying for dominance, you get what you have during the 19th and early, the 18th, 19th, early 20th century, which is great power conflicts. And those can be extremely damaging and deadly. Oh, look at that. 20 in a row. Kick ass. I wonder how long we can keep this going. Yeah. So yeah, I do predict. I mean, eventually there will come a day when America is no longer the world hegemon, because like nothing lasts forever, right? People probably thought that Rome was never going to fall during its height, but it did, of course. And there will one day be no United States of America. And I think people are going to look back and realize that things weren't that bad under American control. I mean, especially if they get replaced by somebody who doesn't have the same cultural ideas about personal expression and personal freedom and stuff. I mean, it's by no means a universal thing. And people follow the leader. And the fact that we believe in it so strong has caused it to be much stronger in these other countries. And I think if, like, you had China, for instance, being the world hegemon, you'd very quickly see a curtailing of this kind of thing other places. And look at this. This guy is stuck. Alright, we were able to smash the tables. Oh, this guy's an idiot. Come on. Let's smash the tables. Oh, we smashed him. Alright, well, he kind of deserved it for being a douche. Nice, alright. Now, let's get our car fixed up. Rad. And now we move on to our next destination. Yeah, can you see how, like, I'm improving at this from the first time to now? I was low-key worried that this series would be DOA, just because I was so confused and frustrated, but now, like, I feel under control. Like, I can sit here and just keep doing this. Oh, I don't think that actually goes through over there. Alright, we gotta find our way over to there. Getting our money.
My body is moving alright. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, I can feel it. Yeah.
This German guy.
As if you are.
German stereotype guy. And that's kind of who I feel bad for too, like the Germans, because whenever like a German tries to feel proud of their country, it always reminds everyone of you know who. So it's kind of frowned upon. Let's see. Which I think is silly, because, that was a period of German history that lasted, 12 years, right? From the seizure of power to the end of World War II. That was 12 years out of, thousands of years of the Germans and the German people. Yeah, it's unfair. Like, everyone has dark periods in their history. We can't condemn them forever based on the actions of one regime at one point in their history. If that was so, everyone on Earth has had times where they've been, naughty. Do I need to go through the list? I mean, I won't, but you understand. I wonder how long we can go before the things either get wrapped up or we explode somehow.
Let's not get all cozy here, alright?
Alright, here we go. I'm vibing with this music, aren't you? Yes. Speaking of Europe and stuff, they do have their own forms of techno and such that are not as popular here. I probably mentioned this before, but I kind of have a thing for Italo disco. There's this one song that is like quite possibly the catchiest song that's ever been made. Like, for many years I've maintained the catchiest song ever made is Dream Police by Cheap Trick. But I think I found a catchier song. And I want to warn you very firmly that if you listen to this song, it will not leave your head. So be forewarned. But do you remember the group Baltimora? If you don't, you probably remember that song Tarzan Boy from the 80s. It goes whoa 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 do, do. And it's a good song, very catchy, but that's not the song I'm talking about. They made a song shortly after that called Woody Boogie. And let me tell you, Woody Boogie is the new catchiest song that I've ever heard. Listen to it once and your brain will be melted. Like, you will be able to do nothing else but have Woody Boogie in your head for the rest of your life. So, this is as dire of a warning as I can give you. Don't listen to that song unless you want that to happen to you. And I'm not gonna say, oh look, we're back home. Isn't that funny? But yeah, I'm not even gonna say it's a bad thing. I mean, I like that song. But yeah, you will have it in your head for the rest of for at least a while. I'm not gonna say the rest of your life, but you know, it'll be in your head a long time.
I enjoyed that.
Alright, I think we're going to have to call it here. We're going to keep this going. But I think since we're up to half an hour and then some, and we're also home, we can just park our car and call it a day. Rad. Well, it was nice hanging out with you. Look at all that money we got. We're making bank. We more than doubled our money just from today. Alright, let's go save. Then we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.